I know you're the champion. I know they're supposed to call your name, but there's a guy here that likes to talk.
It looks like he got the title and he made his money and he's kind of cashed out. But now it's time to come see the man, the real champion, the people's champion, the king of Miami.
Colby, not on the skin, but I just don't like him. For me, he's banter. I just feel like I'm gonna go out there and want to put my way, you know.
MMA fans, it's time.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
Before another wild, electrifying year for the UFC comes to a close, we are left with one last spectacle. A matchup between polar opposites in fighting style and personality.
Colby Covington, Leon Edwards is the fight that I'm most interested in. I'm excited.
That's a great fight. That's a great fight. Leon's so dangerous. He's one of the most impressive guys I've ever seen.
Yeah, but the pressure of Colby.
He's an idiot. He's a dumb He's in for a long night.
Why should he be sitting out for a year and then randomly sign to the title shot? This Dana White privilege is there for real.
Come along as we take an inside look into the main event of UFC 296. Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington.
I cannot wait for it.
To be born in poverty in Jamaica, it was like a war zone. Not just like normal like gunshots, and then immigrated to the UK, got involved in mixed martial arts, to now be in a position where I'm now the world champion. It's a proud moment, you know.
From nothing to the top of mixed martial arts, the ascent of Leon Edwards is something truly special. And to say his road to UFC gold was a bumpy one would be an understatement.
Leon knows he was never going to get an easy shot at this belt. You want me to do it the hard way? This is my life. I've done everything the hard way.
You cannot deny winning. You just keep doing what you're doing. Stay true to yourself and you will achieve gold. It might take longer to achieve it, but the longer road might be the better road for you.
Leon Edwards can do everything.
Leon Edwards has a skill set, man, that is very, very impressive.
There is no weaknesses. He can submit you. He'll knock you out on the feet.
Despite going on one of the greatest win streaks in the promotion,
he's now unbeaten in his last 10 fights.
Adversity consistently overshadowed his narrative.
Oh, it was a poke in the eye.
I had to give him the three-piece with the soda.
Fights have fallen apart, injuries and sicknesses.
To be removed from the rankings through no fault of his own.
Leon Edwards, he won the fight, but Nathan Diaz won the night.
Yet through the unwavering persistence and self-belief, the tides began to turn.
We fight for the title, baby. This is my dream, and I am looking forward to making it happen.
Now, the people all want to know, how are you going to get it done?
A true underdog story at its core.
He's the champ. He deserves it.
To think of where Leon Edwards was just a few years ago, being written off, doubted, and ignored. To then see him end the most dominant reign in the way he did is something like that of a cinematic masterpiece. And months later, to solidify himself as the greatest welterweight on earth in his home country.
For a guy that has worked so hard to get where he is, it was kind of nice to be able to see him have this moment here in his home country.
Leon Edwards now submits himself as the welterweight champ. I mean, there's no more question.
But who better to come in and spoil the party than Colby Covington? A ruthless, cold-blooded villain who captured the attention of the MMA world after turning full heel, strategically transitioning to the dark side to salvage his UFC career.
Perhaps the most hated man in mixed martial arts right now.
How does Colby Covington become the UFC's supervillain?
I knew I had to make a change because this is the circus business.
Brazil, you're a dog!
Now you're getting ran over.
You know, I'm gonna end your career. You're not gonna have no more money to get no suits.
You know, he's not impressive. He sucks at fighting. And December 14th, I'm gonna expose him.
But aside from his personality as the loud and proud, polarizing figure who knows no boundaries, the man is a fighter at his core.
Colby Covington, love him or hate him, you have to respect that he is a tremendous competitor.
This guy's stomping world-class fighters. I mean, stomping them.
A relentless wrestler and a cardio machine who has broken down some of the best fighters in the world with his never-ending pace and output, which led him to an interim belt.
I did everything I said I was gonna do. I told everybody I was gonna make the welterweight division great again. It's good to shut them all up, you know?
Yet having fallen short of claiming the undisputed championship on 2 occasions, his attention pivoted toward a fresh objective. settling his personal grudges with vicious intent.
I just want to get locked in a cage with this clown. I'm definitely taking at least 5 years off his life. I want to crush this guy's soul.
What's the headline on March 6th in the morning about the fight?
Colby in critical condition might not fully make it.
It's his doomsday, Michael. What's he got? 3 days left to live, and then he's going into an electric chair.
Covington said, Masvidal trains for his fights. I live this.
You know, whooped his ass from second 1 to minute 25. You could see in his body language he had nothing left in the fight.
But with his character comes consequences.
Colby says that Jorge punched him twice, breaking his tooth and messing up his wristwatch.
His plans to be more active were quickly put to a halt, and his presence seemingly disappeared for months. But the recent shakeup of the division casted him right out of the shadows.
Speaking of Colby, there's unconfirmed reports that he's here in London as the backup fighter.
Love him, hate him. That's what real discipline to do what he did today.
UFC flew me out here on 1 day's notice, and I was ready to fight either one of these guys in the main event.
They love him in London, England, Michael Bisping.
And now, after stealing the show at UFC 286 and his reliability by weighing in on a moment's notice, he has been granted another chance at gold.
Colby's next.
I just don't see how Colby just sits out for a year, not injured, and then just sliding for a title shot.
It's hilarious that he's crying and screaming, but you know, that's how most people are when they're gonna get sent to the electric chair. And I'm gonna turn that shit on and fry that little bitch up.
When it was my turn calling for the bout, everyone like, I don't know who he is.
Honestly, I haven't watched any of his fights. I didn't even know he existed.
Now I'm the king. I will sit back, I'll overthink, and I'll let them beg me first, then I'll consider it.
Whether or not Covington deserves the next shot at Leon Edwards, it's key to understand the dynamics of the UFC business, as it's evident that merit isn't always the sole determining factor of how fights come to fruition.
Mumble mouth. Guess what, buddy? You got nowhere to run. You got nowhere to hide. This is the only fight you're gonna get.
I think no one at the time now has proven that they deserve a title shot. So now it turns into the business part of it, right? So you're gonna sell the most pay-per-views. Colby, right?
On December 16th in Las Vegas, Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington will headline our last pay-per-view of the year.
Now, the date is set and the anticipation begins.
What's your prediction on Leon Colby?
Well, Colby puts a lot of volume on you. He comes at you like fast, and he puts you in a dogfight.
Colby is one of the hardest to deal with because you can knock him down, you can hit him, but he's gonna keep on coming, and people have a hard time dealing with his pace. I'm interested to see how Leon deals with it.
Everyone keeps going on about his cardio, that is not. No one's going by his skills. Just keep talking about cardio, you know. But
in terms of the stylistic matchup, Covington is a real threat to the champion's title reign. The pace and volume may be too much for Edwards. Nevertheless, armed with sharp and accurate striking, Edwards possesses the capability to capitalize on openings, especially considering Colby's vulnerability shown in recent bouts.
The thing about Leon is you can never sleep. He's so sharp.
He is a specialist on his feet. He does artwork when he's out there.
The wrestling prowess and the threat of submissions from Covington could present problems for the champ. Yet Edwards has demonstrated impeccable takedown defense in his last fights with Kamaru Usman.
Colby will be pushing the action. He will be trying to wrestle a lot more than Kamaru Usman did.
But Leon has proved himself to be a pretty good defensive wrestler, a guy that can keep guys from taking the fight where they want.
It's customary for the UFC to end the calendar year with a big championship fight, and that is exactly what we have here.
You know, the only thing I have to worry about is if he's gonna show up or not. No matter what, boys, December 16th, I will be crowned undisputed champion of the world.
I think his shit talking can overshadow his talent when he's fighting. I can't imagine myself losing to someone like that.
This is a very winnable fight for both men. Both are incredibly experienced and tough. But whose style will prevail? Will it be the controversial, provocative, relentless wrestler finally breaking through as the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, setting us up for even more chaos going into the new year? Or will the current king prove yet again why he is nothing but the best, continuing his win streak and setting himself up for more massive fights on his journey to becoming the best welterweight ever?
This is what high-level mixed martial arts is all about.